Jesus wasn't white, he was really brown skinned.
Right, we are super excited. Welcome to the book launch for Who Colored Jesus?
Jesus wasn't white, he was really brown skinned. Once I knew that, that's when I found him. They'll say they love you.
I'm super excited if you can't tell, not just because I'm hosting, but because I believe this is one of the most incredibly unique and creative projects that I've heard of in a really long time. My name is George Potts Young. I'm your host for tonight. I'm here all the way from Los Angeles, California on the West Coast. I'm a graduate of Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana. I moved to LA about 8 years ago, and I work full time in the entertainment industry. And I want to introduce you to the co authors of this incredible project, Dr. Autry Adu and Miss Wednesday Boateng. As I was reading over everything, first off, it touched me in so many different ways. And I think that it's a message that everybody needs to hear. My first question, and this is for both of you all, I've written books before. I've worked on a lot of things in entertainment where I've done alone. Writing a book, first off, is not for the faint at heart. It's hard. It requires a lot. And doing it by yourself is one thing, but how did you guys do it together?
So I actually started off writing this book alone, and I was making a chapter book for middle school. Similar concept, talking about the color Black and identity, but it was way more involved. Shared it with my mom, and I said, I think this is a book in itself.
And so we know each other's personality, and we know how to work together. And so it was a pleasure doing this book with her.
To see a mother and daughter work on something collaboratively like that. And of course, we know that parents have a level of wisdom that we all aspire to have. And I think that's amazing. What is it that you want them to take away from it?
I want them to feel love. I want them to feel identity and connection to Jesus. Wow. So many real life stories. So actually, I could say this is based on a true story because my son came to me and Jesus walks. He said, this isn't Jesus. This man looks like my daddy. And he started laughing. So I said, well, why can't this be Jesus? He said, Mommy, they have Jesus at my school. That's not how Jesus looks. And so said, some people think that Jesus was browner than the picture that you see. And an artist created that picture. And, I didn't get into too much with the 5-year-old, but it was enough for him to have a takeaway where he actually said, so yeah, maybe Jesus doesn't look like that picture. Maybe he could look different.
Identifying with Black or identifying with brown, or identifying with the term of people of color. It's almost as if, where did the term Black come from?
It's the same thing as Negro, right? So Negro is Black in Spanish. Controversial concept. I actually borrowed that from another story where a little girl who was actually very lighter brown, went to a predominantly white environment and her friends colored her with a Black crayon and it hurt her feelings. But children, they weren't trying to hurt her feelings. She was their Black friend. So they wanted to include her. But her mom shared her story with me and I was like, wow. So we need to get away from this negative connection to the color Black if we're going to call ourselves Black. At the same time, we kind of have to, we're responsible for teaching the community and teaching the world about how we come about these negative concepts, and we are responsible for changing them.
Chinese, Japanese, Black, white, whatever the race is, that you will have an identity and a feel of who Jesus really is. And she came to me one day and said, Autry, they say Jesus is Black. Do you believe that? I said, would it make a difference? Would you still love him the same? We serve God through the Spirit. And so you're now upset because someone told you Jesus could be Black like me? I'm Black and beautiful. So what's wrong with that? And so when Queer gave me the title of this book, I became excited. I said, wow, finally, we're going to introduce something that people can really talk about, and they can begin to find a sense of identity and love no matter what color Jesus is to them.
Right.
But it's not the picture and the reflection that we have just been seeing. Who colored that picture? Who made him look like that?
Ooh.
Shalom guys, my name is Wakasinamdi Peters, also known as Kefabinia. I'm an illustrator from Nigeria. I illustrate for my brand Pro Magnificus on Instagram, and it's a privilege to be contacted by Sister Boatangwa for the book Who Colored Jesus. And this book, according to the brief and the story I know about it, is something that will help our kids grow in the right direction, having a mindset of who they are and self-knowledge, self-actualization from an early age, which will guide them in the right path. It's been a great pleasure and experience on my end as an artist, which gives me more inspiration and ideas.
Wednesday, congratulations on your latest book project. It was an absolute pleasure working with you. Thank you for entrusting us, After Six Media LLC, with your vision. If you're writing any type of content or text, you will always need an editor. We encourage you to utilize our professional editing services in order to help you look good as a writer or as an author. So please check us out at www.aftersixmediallc.com.
But I wanted to be different. I didn't want to just have a child talking to a grandparent. So we purposely, and we agreed to purposely not give the child an identity. Some people think it's a girl. Some people would think it's a boy.
Wow.
So I didn't put just one child in there. There are lots of different kids throughout the book doing different things. I never put a picture of Jesus in the book either. With the book is that I think we have to really encourage imagination.
Right.
Encourage critical thinking. So the answers are inside of you. And I wanted to make sure that children felt free to give those.
Because I think that is something that literally could be one of those things that are life-changing for the people that encounter this, and especially with children. And if we start answering these questions young and start allowing them to ask these questions young, then hey, we set them up to have knowledge and wisdom about topics that we try to stay away from, or maybe that the people before us couldn't really answer.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you.
And we hope that you've heard or seen something tonight on this book launch that has made you want to go get the book if you haven't gotten it already. Who Colored Jesus? As we said earlier, it was birthed out of a poem. But what we want to do now, a special treat for you guys. For being on this book launch, you're going to get a free prize. Before I tell you what that free prize is, we actually want to show you the animated book video to Who Colored Jesus. So we're going to go watch that, and we'll be back shortly and give you some last minute remarks, and then we'll be done.
Who Colored Jesus by Dr. Autrey Edu and Wednesday Boating. I bet you know lots of things and learn from what you see. I know smart kids are quiet, and some talk a lot, like me. I also know I'm not the only kid with a story about skin color. This could be you talking to my very smart grandmother. This chat is about what I saw colored black the other day. I couldn't wait to tell Grandma and hear what she had to say. I said,
Grandma, my friends did something that made me sad. When I tell you what happened, you might be mad. They colored Jesus in black crayon, and that's not right. I told them to get that picture out of my sight. Don't you think the color black is a disgrace?
Then Grandma replied with a smile on her face.
It's great that you spoke up and used your voice, but I think black for Jesus is a good choice.
No way, Grandma, I said. That's not how he looks. Haven't you seen pictures of Jesus in books?
Your image of Jesus is something an artist created. He never saw Jesus, and his idea has been debated.
Oh, my friends made his hair curly, black, and thick.
She said, their artwork sounds beautiful. That's an image I would pick.
Grandma, since black is for sin, isn't brown better to choose?
The shade of black is made by mixing all hues, and it's only evil when people make it that way. Black is powerful and strong, if that's what we say. It's the absence of light, like the spirit you can't see. Each person is a unique creation across the earth, and we often use being different to bring down another's worth.
This has happened based on skin color too many times to count, so always know that you have value and you should never be counted out.
Then she looked into my eyes. As her hand lifted my chin, she said, "You are wonderful indeed." And that made me grin.
You never told me that Jesus could look like us. If I knew it was true, I wouldn't have made a fuss. So why do artists only make these images? I don't understand.
We accepted Jesus one way, and you can accept him in another, because his message remains the same. We're all sisters and brothers.
Wow, you're telling me so much I never knew. Now I wonder what else I believe that's not true.
Well, there's nothing new on this earth that the sun hasn't seen. So don't get shaken up and lost when learning new things. Be steady as you walk into places I will never get to see. And may God's angels guide you safely into each discovery.
My teacher said that black was okay too, but I still wanted to come talk to you. Grandma, I'm glad I told you what happened, and I'm happy you care.
Come to me anytime. It's my joy to talk and share. I'm a living witness of God's blessings, and his wisdom frees us. So tell me exactly, who colored Jesus?
Our beloved mother and grandmother, to whom this book is dedicated, gained her heavenly wings during the publication of this book. She is gone, but never forgotten.
Love you guys. Thank you so much once again for participating in the book launch of Who Colored Jesus. Tell a friend, tell a family member about it. Good night.